Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, March 18th, 2024. I, of course, am here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you guys get to be a part of the conversation. Appreciate you joining me. Welcome to a new week. I sent out my text this morning and I said, Monday, so good to me. Who sang that song? Let me know in the comments if you know who sang that song. Also, remember, you can join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, as we go ahead and talk about what's going on with the market. A lot to talk about this week. We got the Fed meeting, of course, on Wednesday. If you're here on the replay, do me a favor, put hashtag replay in the comments. So many of you do follow up with that, and I appreciate it. It makes a big difference to me. Doesn't get a lot of algorithm juice, but it does make a difference. I can see who's actually watching. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to smash that like button, tag a fellow friend, share us in the group. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, click that notification bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, you can sign up and get our written email lock advice to your inbox each and every weekday morning, www.ratelockadvice.com. You can also get our text alerts for $7 a month, www.ratetextalerts.com. And last but not least, check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Find out how you can get loans from Google and social media. This is a form of consumer direct marketing. Consumer direct marketing can be even more important now with all of the NAR nonsense and them basically throwing their agents under the bus in their settlement. That's how I see it, at least. So anyway, you can sign up for our daily text reminder if you'd like to be reminded when I go live. Hey, hmmr.io/live reminder. And so today on that call, let's see if anyone knows. I put a text on that text message today. I put on that one, Monday, so good to me. Who sang that? Who sang that song? Monday. Come on, it's Monday. Who was it? You guys know who it was. Ron Siegel. Now Hammer's tracking us along with Alexa and Siri. I'm not tracking you, man. I'm not tracking you. I already know where you are. You're here every weekday morning, joining me, kicking ass, and talking about what's going on. So that's where we are. Come on, someone tell me. There it is. Yasmin got it. The mamas and the papas, baby. That's right. That was the song that came into my head this morning. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's say hi to all the live folks that are here this morning. Good morning, y'all. Appreciate each and every one of you that join me, keep me company, keep me sane as I do this. Allison Foy, you were the first one on this morning to say hello. Good morning. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Have some coffee. But I get you. Kyle Mazekas, Ron Siegel, Rob Stewart. Good morning, all. Yasmin Martin. Happy Monday. And Yasmin, the one that answered the mamas and the papas this morning. So, and we've got Mallory Fotiatis, Deb Dickinson, Debbie Richardson, Brandy Brickler, Megan Lindbergh, Tom Dedmore, Thomas Sloan, Trey Pennington. And I'll tell you real quick, totally didn't think about this, but Yasmin, since you answered, let me know, do you want... All right. I know you guys. I've kept you waiting. Let me know if you would like an Originator Success t-shirt. Since you answered, I will send you. I've got gray and we've got red. Let me know what size. You could DM me. You don't have to put it in the comments if you don't want to. These are next level, the unisex ones. So they fit male, female real well. They've got a little bit of shape to them. So they fit even the female body real well. Let me know if you would like one of those. Since you answered the question first today, Yasmin, it's all yours. I just need you to contact me to get me your size and color choice and your address. So you can hit me up in Messenger if you would like one. Ron said he is doing, guys, definitely check out Ron's radio show. Round is a shape. Yes, Ron, it is. And lately it's my shape. I'm up to 241. I was down to 224. And now I've got a belly again. I'm gonna have to do something. So Ron's doing a full radio show tomorrow about the proposed settlement. I noticed that you put proposed in the caps. I don't think it was proposed though, didn't they? Wasn't it accepted? Didn't the court accept it already? Yasmin, just hit me up and I would love to send you some swag. So I appreciate you. I haven't done that in a while. I'm going to start doing that more often. Good morning, Rebecca Foote. Great to see you as well. All right, y'all, let's get into the good stuff. Again, thank you for joining me. Let me go ahead and bring this on. So rate sheets this morning going to be very similar to Friday, although mortgage-backed securities down about 11 basis points to start the day. They improved a little bit Friday afternoon. Let me see if I can zoom in on this or if it's going to. Nope. Let me refresh the page and I'll zoom in. But anyway, mortgage-backed securities improved a little bit on Friday afternoon. So losing those 11 basis points this morning basically puts us right around that same level. They're actually a little bit worse now. So you might see pricing that's a little bit worse than Friday, but not too much. 10-year treasury yield 4.32. That is the cap. You can kind of see that here with 4.32. This is going to hold up most likely until Friday. Wednesday. Why do I say until Wednesday? Because Wednesday is the Fed meeting, and that's when all the activity is going to happen. There is nothing on the economic calendar between now and Wednesday that's going to matter, right? So Wednesday, we're going to get the Fed meeting. This meeting is a big one because they're going to have a new dot plot, meaning the forecast. The Fed officials, all 19 of them, are going to throw in their opinion on where the Fed funds rate will be at the end of 24, 25, and 26, right? Now, the expectation currently, based on last dot plot, is that we'd see 3 rate cuts this year. That's what markets are continuing to price in. When you look at December numbers here on Fed futures, biggest number, 34%, is at 4.5. That would be 3 rate cuts of a quarter point apiece to get there. There is a lot of talk and a lot of speculation that this, because of the strong labor market, because of the strong economic data, strong economy, that we only need to see 2 members flip-flop to the idea of 2 rate cuts. Question is, what's the market going to react to that? And that's kind of the big deal as we head into Wednesday. I don't feel good about this, y'all. I think we're going to see rates continue to move higher. I don't think we're going to move up to October's worst levels, but I do think we're going to see rates move higher. Right now, Fed futures pricing in absolutely no chance of a Fed rate cut in this month's meeting on Wednesday. Also pricing in almost no chance of a cut on May's meeting. Now, remember, it was just in December that markets were already pricing in the idea that we were going to see a rate cut in March, this meeting. And that's now been blown off the water. That's why we've seen rates from December's lows to where we're at now, and they're about 0.75 of a point higher. However, here's what really shakes me up. We have not seen any movement on the idea that the Fed's going to cut in June. It's about a 60% probability markets believe the Fed is going to cut in June. Now, I'm not feeling great about this. So here's the deal. We've got the Fed meeting and the press conference on Wednesday. Then we're going to have a couple of speakers on Thursday and Friday, Fed members that are out there flapping their lips and, flapping their gums. And I think that we've got a really good shot of seeing rates move higher this week. I really do. I'm not feeling good. Does anyone feel good? Anyone think that rates are going to get better? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Do you guys think that rates are going to get better or worse this week? How do you think the Fed meeting is going to affect us? I think the Fed meeting is going to hurt us. I think it's going to make things worse. I think that they're going to talk about how they're not seeing enough signs of inflation improving. The last couple months, the last couple CPI readings have been higher than expected. And although it's just been 0.1%, it's still not in the right direction. It's not moving lower. Now the headline number moves lower, but that core month-over-month number is what they're referencing, right? And it's funny because you can pick and choose how you see these reports. But I think the Fed is going to say that they haven't seen signs that inflation is improving enough, that they need to see more signs that the inflation is going down. They haven't seen anything that really shook us up with economic data. I think we're going to get a lot of that negative stuff. Let's talk about some of the articles here on Bloomberg and what they think, right? So taking a look here, this was the 5 things to start your day. A lot of stuff about AI and all the other things, but this is the big one. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has been reluctant to make a call on how the U.S. economy has changed since the pandemic, adding to rate volatility, making it hard for households and businesses to plan. You know what? Where do they make this stuff up? This is just the dumbest thing I've heard. Powell's been pretty damn clear, as well as most of the Fed members, on what they believe. They kind of throw it out there exactly what they think. There are big risks for central bank coming to grand conclusions. Fed officials still have scars from saying in 2021 that inflation was mainly a phenomenon of transitory supply chain clogs. There's also political sensitivity ahead of the November election, which Powell experienced this month when he mentioned at a congressional hearing that immigration had taken some of the pressure out of the labor market. Bond investors who were once convinced the Fed would start cutting interest rates this week are painfully surrendering to the higher for longer reality. Now, here are those articles they talked about. First one, bond traders surrender to higher for longer reality from the Fed. Yeah. And I think this is what's going to dominate this month's Fed meeting. I think it's going to be this conversation afterwards. I think that we're going to see Fed futures give up the ghost on 3 cuts and have to cut down to 2. And I think rates are going to move higher. There's just I don't think there's any ammunition in the in the pew. Got to be careful what you say because AI monitors it, right? I don't think there's any ammunition for the Fed to say that it's likely that they're on track. Or, I mean, the best case scenario is they're going to say that they're on track. They still think there'll be 3 cuts, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't think that they're going to really be able to say much there. And then this other article is the other one that they talked about that caught my eye. Powell's silence frustrates markets as post-COVID economy shifts. The Fed chief has been reluctant to make a call on how the U.S. economy has changed since the pandemic. No, they haven't. Where do they make this stuff up? Powell keeps talk about normalization and rebalancing, but you can't go back to 2019, says Jim Bianco, president of Bianco Research. So he's an individual guy because he's president of his own company. Whenever you have a big shock in the economy like 2008 or 2020, the economy is, of course, it's changed. We know the labor market is tighter than ever. We know that. I mean, even when you want to go deeper in the numbers, it's there, and people are still spending money. That's what we talked about. Because if this wasn't an election year, they would be moving these rates the other direction. I don't know, Sam. I'm not giving into this being all about politics because the Fed is somewhat insulated from politics. And at the end of the day, I don't know that Fed Chair Jerome Powell wants to stay Fed president for that much longer. It's a bitch of a job. And he's got tons of other opportunities to be making money. It's not like they're making all their money being all the whatever. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't think that this is nearly as economic. I don't think it's politically driven for the Fed. I think that that politics has a lot to do with the markets, but I don't think it does. I don't think the Fed is making decisions based on that. Sean said Powell has always said he didn't want to be the guy to let it go back out of control again. Yeah, he's trying to avoid what happened to Volcker back in the 70s. What do you think they will do if inflation is stagnant but employment is hurting? I think they would cut. If inflation is stagnant and they would fall back, around my opinion, I think they'd fall back on that idea that they said they were okay with inflation being, averaging 2% over a longer period of time. And we know that inflation was down pre-COVID. So that was the big thing there. I think they would be all right with inflation and 3% as long as it doesn't show signs of moving up. That's the big thing. But the problem is what they're trying to avoid is if they start cutting too soon and then they have to turn around and start raising rates again. And guys, that would be terrible for mortgage rates. It would be horrible for us. So we don't want to see that either, as painful as this is. And I noticed a lot of people saying the same kind of thing where, consumers are they're getting tired of sitting on the sidelines. We are seeing people, the demand is there. They want to buy houses. And what's funny, anyone heard the news about how real estate agents' commissions are going to change? Yeah, I mean, right? Like we hear this whole thing now about how I love how some sources are like home prices will come down. So you've got that being whispered in people's heads. Home prices are never going to come down. If I could sell my house for $300,000 and I paid $30,000 in commissions, but now I'm going to sell and again, I'm just using 10% for round number, right? But now I can sell my house, let's use let's say 6%, right? So if I was selling my $300,000 house and I had to pay $18,000 in commission, whereas now I could sell my $300,000 house and I only have to pay $9,000 in commission. Oh, I'm going to lower the price of my house. No, I'm not. There's no inventory. Like, people just don't get it, do they? There's no inventory. If we had a glut of inventory, well, then yes, then home prices would come down, different things. But there's no reason to. You know who's going to make more money? The sellers. Anyway, we're going to see how this all pans out. One thing I will tell you, going directly to the consumer going to continue to be very, very important. I don't think it's going to cut out all agents, but think about getting a lot of business from agents. That's the part that LOs are really not talking about, is how much will people need agents? we're talking about agents that are all wanting to become LOs now, and they're all like, oh, I could become an LO and do loan applications and blah blah blah, and there's all these different things promoting that garbage on the interwebs, right? But how about LOs that are basically we may fill in some of that blank for being real estate agents. And not that I think we should or we want to, but that may be what happens. When you've got buyers that are looking for guidance, and if they're not using an agent, who are they going to talk to? They're going to talk to the mortgage person. I mean, I know for a decade, when I wrote loans, people always, what do you think we should offer? What do you think? They would ask me all those questions anyway. And I'm sure a lot of you get those questions too. So I think you're going to get more of that. What do you think? I'm curious. But we're going to see how all this plays out regardless. And I think NAR did a shitty thing when they threw out the settlement, and they don't have a plan, or at least they have not disclosed that they have any kind of plan, any kind of guidance, any kind of instruction to help this whole thing along. So I think that they did a really shitty move on that. Crystal said Keller Williams is doing this training in-house to get them dual licensed. But I'm going to be mean, but I'm going to say that a lot of real estate agents would not cut it as mortgage people. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate you, sir. Antonio Costa, the area of concern is this may limit first-time home buyers. That would only increase the wealth gap. It is going to limit them to some extent. First-time home buyers may not get representation from agents, but what's going to happen is you're going to find something that'll fill that void. There may, and at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie. I think that agents have been overpaid for a long time. Being paid a percentage of home prices, without those percentages dropping as home prices have gone way above where wages were. If you look at somebody who had a job in 2000 and then now 24 years later, that job, and you look at what it pays, and you look at real estate and the price of real estate in 2000, like I had a condo that I bought for $90,000 right around 2000, right before 2000. That condo today is worth $300,000. That's 3 times the income. What other job has tripled their wages? None. Exactly. And I know, again, it's not popular, and I'm not saying real estate agents shouldn't be paid. I'm just saying they don't necessarily need to be paid as highly as they're being paid based on the big picture of the economy and different things, right? And LOs, our comp didn't go up because the percentages went down. Broker, like there were people used to make 3-4 points on a deal. Now they're making 2 points. So but still, LO income is still high. So Rebecca said it's the buyer's agent that should get all the money. Listing agents don't have to do that much. You know what, Rebecca? We could argue that I could definitely play devil's advocate on both sides of that one, and agree or disagree with you on that. But yeah, I mean, that's true too. Allison, they do the same work on a $250,000 home as a $500,000, but make double the money. Allison, same thing can be said for mortgage people, though, and I think that that's broken. I do. I don't think that mortgage people should be paid a percentage of the loan amount. I think that we should be able to change our compensation based on, if you're dealing with a very difficult FHA loan and a lot of work, and yet you may make half of what you make on an easy loan for a much more expensive property. So that's broken too. Ron said it removes transparency in the marketplace. The MLS cannot disclose commissions any longer, but the agency site can show the co-op commission. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how all this plays out, Ron. It really, this whole thing, I just think it was done poorly, but I don't have a lot of respect for NAR as an organization anyway. I think it's poorly run. I think it's just a mafia that they basically force everybody to pay into. I don't think it's a well-run organization. I don't think it's corrupt. I just don't think it's well-run. Crystal said her new construction that you work on for 9 months versus a 15-day close. Exactly, right? I mean, it just... Lisa, what are your thoughts on hiring low-producing realtors as business development salespeople, paying them a set wage W-2? I think it's a terrible idea. I'll tell you why. Most of them suck at business development. They suck at selling, which is why they're the ones that won't make it, right? The people that are going to get out of real estate are going to be generally, as a whole, they're going to be the worst ones at it. So why would you want to hire them? Most real estate agents, they talk about negotiating. They don't negotiate shit. I mean, one thing that you can count on for an agent is pulling comps. But when I helped my daughter and my son-in-law buy their house last October, actually it's been a year, October of 22. Okay. I was looking to the real estate agent for guidance, and I was trying not to be an overwhelming presence in the transaction. Obviously, I know a lot about this industry, and I was trying to let them live their life and experience and not me just take over and do it for them, right? And I kept sending them back to their agent, and their agent didn't know squat or didn't want to commit or couldn't really help. It was for as much as they talk about it, a lot of agents fall short. And again, there are people, I want to be careful. I don't want to insult all the real estate agents out there because there are some good ones. There are, but there are a tremendous, I don't care what they say, the bar to get into real estate is not that high. And there are tens of thousands in my state alone, hundreds of thousands across the United States that don't belong in real estate at all. Why would we want to invite them into mortgage where you're fighting for every deal and you're thinning out even more? Sean said, good realtors and teams already have JVs. Also, without an LO license, it's circumventing RESPA. Ron said, like most professionals, you do not get paid for what you're doing on the transaction. You get paid for the experience one brings to the table, just like an attorney or a CPA. Yes, within reason. You know, they should be helping, but look at states that have attorneys involved. So you've got attorneys negotiating, real estate agents involved. We have convoluted transactions. But anyway, 21 and a half minutes in, you guys are going to be talking all about this a lot. So am I, but we're not going to talk about it today. Let's just see what the rest of the day goes. It's Monday. Again, I don't think we're going to see too much wonderful stuff go on for mortgage-backed securities. However, they are just slightly worse than on Friday, now down 8 basis points. And I think it's a quiet day with very little reprice risk. My advice is now to cautiously float as we get into see what Wednesday brings. I don't think over the next couple of days that we've got a lot of risk. I think that we're going to see rates kind of hold steady, pricing hold steady. I don't think Wednesday is going to go our way, but I could be wrong. Let's call it. What do you guys think? I think it's 4-1. I think it's an 80% chance that we see rates come out higher after Wednesday, based on what I've talked about all of this today's session. But we do have a chance that things could improve, and we want to keep that door open. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll go a little bit deeper on why I think that and why you think that, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care. Make it a great one. Bye-bye.